Hey, how's it going? And today I wanted to go over 3 of the 6 concurrency expressions. The one we're going to talk about today is sync, and then we'll take a look at race, which I've already done in another tutorial, and then we'll take a quick look also at rush. So what I have in the scene right now is I've got 3 props or cubes, and basically I've turned them into moving platforms that are going horizontally. And if we look briefly at the code here, I also have a HUD device in the scene that I'll change the text on shortly. But if we come and look at the code, just in case you're interested in trying to do this, we just have the 3 props, the creative props. Those are just blueprint props, static meshes. This concurrency expression controls the flow of your game. So here, if we look at the flow, there's basically just 4, let's just say 4 functions being called here, right? So there's a print string being called, there's a sleep function being called, then there's a start race being called here, and then there's a my HUD devices being called. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first thing that's going to happen is there'll be a print string. The second thing is, and this is just following the program flow, the second thing will be it'll go to sleep for 5 seconds. And then here is, we're going to call this start race function here. And this is where we can see the currency expression. So here it's going to call this start race, and it has to have the suspends in it. This is going to call all 3 of these methods at the same time. These methods are just moving platform. To add variability in their movement, I've gotten a random float value, and then I'm using that for the distance under the movement variable. It's all the same code, it's just they have different names internally, because this is for prop 1, this is for prop 2, this is for prop 3. So we have 3 different boxes moving at 3 different speeds, and they're all heading to this location here on the Y that I've already mapped out. So that's all there is to that. The bottom line for sync is the main program flow will not continue until all the functions have finished. So in other words, the program flow will not go to show HUD device until all of these functions have finished doing what they need to do. So until all of these return false and finish, the program flow is hung up. It will not proceed. It's kind of like when you're sitting at dinner, not everybody's got their plate, so everybody's waiting. You can't proceed to eat the meal until everybody's got their plate, and then we can all eat. So it's kind of an all or nothing thing, everyone or no one. So, and it holds up the program flow. So I'm going to give you we're going to see this happen visually right now. I'll hit start game. There's going to be a 5-second delay. And then before we get that HUD message, you'll see all of the boxes will have to cross the finish line here. See, and once they all cross, then I get a message. So that's the sync function. There's another one that we can look at, is called race, and that's an interesting one too, and I did a tutorial on that already. But race is that the main program flow will continue as soon as the first function completes, but the other functions will be stopped in their tracks. If I'm going to type in race here, and see how easy it is to change for the expressions, and it's all the same logic, but just changing this changes the whole flow of everything. Everything proceeds as before. It's going to call start race here, and then it's going to call down here, and it's going to start everybody going. But as soon as one of these functions completes, then these functions will be canceled, and then the program flow will continue. So we'll come in here, I'll hit escape, I'll go start. And so what'll happen now, as soon as the first box to cross, we'll see the HUD message, and then the other boxes will stop wherever they are. Yep, see, that's exactly what happened. Look. So this box got here, and we saw our HUD message. These boxes got stopped in their tracks. Interesting, huh? Now there's one more we can look at, but I think that it has issues. And we look at the rush. It says a rush expression cannot currently be used in the body of an iteration like loop or for. If it must be used, then wrap it in an async function and have the iteration expression call that function. So I don't know. All I know is if we pop rush in, it almost seems like it functions like a race. Unlike race that cancels it, rush is supposed to let As soon as the first one crosses, it lets the program flow continue, but then it doesn't cancel the other two functions. Those functions are allowed to finish out. That's supposed to be rush, but that's not what happens. It ends up functioning as a race unless you do what they say in there. So let's take a look at that real super fast. So we'll build our verse code in game. I would just stay away from rush for the time being. But here's a test of rush and see what it does. So if it was working like it should be with the other functions, like the other concurrency expressions, the first box to come across the line would trigger the HUD message, but then the other boxes would be allowed to finish. But see, look what happened. It functions like a race. The first box across essentially pulled the message and the others were stopped. So unless you do what they say to do in that instruction, it looks like rush is functioning like race. But I would just stay away from it for right now. It doesn't seem like you should have to do something that special for it. So anyway, take care. Have a great day. I hope you found this helpful.